You might have to say something. Okay. So once you've done that, we're going to lie on your belly. As I said, if you don't want to lie on your belly, you can definitely lie on your back as well. But we're doing it for a reason. But if it feels better to lie on your back, then do that. So on your belly, in this crocodile pose, you take your arms and just one arm over the top, and then you can drop your head down. And if you remember when we did it before, if you can take your feet so that your toes turn out and the heels turn in, so you're kind of on the inside of your foot, if you can do that. And then you can just relax. You can drop your head down. And just doing a grounding here, so just taking a few moments, coming away from your day, and just begin to draw your attention inwards. And then just begin by noticing your breath. And in this position, we can really start to feel our breath. So as you inhale, you'll start to feel your belly, your chest maybe touching down towards your mat. And then on the exhale, just feeling it gently moving away. So if you can, start to come into an even breath. So the inhale is matching the exhale. Parasana Vriti. And then as your breath starts to smooth out, again, noticing your body, just how it feels here. So start to notice parts of your body that maybe touch the ground, but then maybe start to notice other parts which don't touch the ground. Just being aware of that and trying to allow your body just to soften down a little bit more. To start to feel heavy, start to relax down. So in today's class, we're going to do a practice for autumn. So with autumn comes different kind of features that aren't there in the summer, and they affect us physically and emotionally. And one of the biggest aspects is the transition, so between the summer and the autumn. So we'll be paying particular attention to how we move between the postures today. But also in an autumnal practice, we want to feel more grounded, because with autumn, it kind of brings a kind of a unsettledness feeling. So we want to try and bring ourselves down a little bit. Also has kind of physical attributes, so it can be really drying on your skin. It's obviously colder, but we'll stay pretty much very close to the ground today, especially as we're kind of starting to warm up. So from there, you can move a little bit. You can bring your hands round if you want, just to the either side. And then we're just going to take just a little stretch through the front of your thigh. So you can bend your right leg. Again, you might just keep your right leg where it is, or maybe take hold of your right foot with your hand, and then just start to draw the heel in just a little bit without forcing. So it's pretty early on, just to get a nice stretch through the front of your thigh. You can always keep your other arm there and keep your head dropped down if that's better. Okay, we'll change sides. So slowly just release that leg and then bend the other leg in. Again, either keep it here or reach back, put it with your left hand and draw the heel in. When you're ready, slowly start to lower that leg back. From there, we'll take your hands either side of your shoulders and we'll just start to press up. So we're just going to move up to our all fours position. So when you come in, spreading your hands, again, really paying particular attention to the ground and the knees hip distance. So as you inhale here, we'll drop the belly down, start to pull forward through your chest. On the exhale, draw the belly in and just round through your back. Do that again, so just starting to warm up through your spine. Start to match your breath and your movement. I'm going to change this a little bit. So we're going to do a kind of moving cat. So the next time you exhale, we're going to round through your back, but we're also going to move back as if you're coming back to a child's pose. So move forward again on the inhale, drop the belly and lift your chest. And then on the exhale, draw your belly in, but move back as if you're coming back into that child's pose. Okay, we'll do that one more time. So inhale, moving forward, drop the belly, lift your chest. On the exhale, round your back and move back. And this time on the inhale, we'll just move forwards to an all fours position, so we're not dropping the belly down. And then we're going to tuck the toes and we're going to move into our first downward facing dog. So just tucking the toes, lifting your hips up. Maybe widen your feet a little bit. Maybe pedal your feet out a little. Just making any little movements in this first one that you feel is right for you. Starting to use the ground, push up out a little bit. Draw your belly in, lift your hips up high. Okay, on the next inhale, we'll lift the heels up and then just lower your knees all the way down towards the ground. So we're going to add that in. So when you're ready, on your inhale, we'll drop the belly and start to pull your chest forwards. As you exhale into that moving cat, so rounding in your back, start to move the hips back towards your heels. As you inhale, move forwards to just a tabletop position. And then on the exhale, we'll tuck the toes and we'll lift the hips to downward facing dog. I'm going to stay here on the inhale. And on your next exhale, we'll lift the heels up and lower the knees down. We'll do that again. So inhale, drop the belly, start to pull your chest forwards. Exhale, round your back, so start to move back into that moving cat. Inhale, moving forwards into a tabletop position. And on the exhale, tuck your toes and lift your hips, downward dog. Okay, so again, we'll stay here on the inhale. And on the exhale, lift your heels and lower down. So we'll do that again. So inhale, drop the belly, lift through your chest. Exhale, pull the belly in, so round your back as you move back. Inhale, move forward, so to tabletop. On the exhale, tuck the toes and lift your hips. Like that. Okay, from there, we'll lift the heels up, just lower your knees and just make your way back into your child's pose. So just gently take yourself back. Maybe release the arms down and drop the head down and just see how you feel. So in this autumnal practice, we'll do no kind of traditional sun salutation, so no chaturangas. It's all pretty much close to the ground and staying really grounded. So when you're ready, we'll start to make our way up. So we'll walk the hands just back in. Then we're going to come into Virasana. We're not going to stay here for very long, but if you can, just sit down with your hips back onto your heels. And then if you want to, we're going to tuck the toes under and then sit the hips back. So really just trying to stretch out a little bit in your toes. If this is really uncomfortable though, don't bother doing it. You can just sit for a moment. And then we're going to start to move a little bit just to take your mind off the toes, but we're trying to stretch them out a little. So as you inhale, we'll just reach the arms up. And then on the exhale, we'll just draw the palms down through the centre of your heart. So we'll do that again. So inhale, big stretch up, reach up with the arms. And as you exhale, pull the hands down. Okay, we'll do that one more time. So inhale, reaching up. And exhale, pull it down. Okay, from there, we're going to release your toes, maybe give them a little tap out, and then come up. So you're in a higher kneeling position. So you've got your knees underneath your hips, but hip distance apart. Now from there, we're going to do the same thing with the arms. So relax your shoulders down your spine. So as you inhale, big reach up with the arms, so maybe looking at your thumbs. And on the exhale, pull the hands down through the center of your heart. Do that again. So inhale, reaching up, maybe looking up. Exhale, pull it down. We'll do that once more, but we're going to add on to it. So as you inhale, we'll reach up. So this is a little bit tricky, but once you've done it once, you'll know it. We're going to move forward to that tabletop position. So you just move forwards, pull your belly in, and take your hands down. Okay, so on the inhale, drop the belly and lift your chest. As you exhale, that moving cat, so round through your back, start to move back towards your heels. On the inhale, move forward, so just into that tabletop position. And on the exhale, tuck your toes and lift your hips, downward facing dog. Well done. Lift your heels up, lower the knees back down. And then on the exhale, move back into child's pose. So we'll do that again. So inhale, lifting up all the way up onto high knees this time. So keep stretching up, reaching up. Good. On the exhale, release the hands, come back into that all fours position. As you inhale, drop your belly, start to lift your chest. As you exhale, round back, so into that moving cat. Inhale, move forwards, so into that all fours position. On the exhale, tuck the toes and lift your hips up, downward facing dog. As you inhale, lift your heels, lower the knees down towards the ground. And on the exhale, press back into that child's pose. Okay, we'll do that one more time. So inhale, start to lift up, so all the way up into the high knee position, reaching up with the arms as you go. As you exhale, make your way forwards into that all fours. Inhale, drop the belly, lift your chest. As you exhale, rounding back into that moving cat. Inhale, move forwards into a tabletop position. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the heels, lower the knees down. Exhale, press back to child's pose. And you can rest there for a moment if you like. Release the arms, see how you feel. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to make our way back up into that high kneeling position. So take your time coming up. And just when you come up, just make sure that you've got enough room either side of your mat. So we're going to do a little gate pose. So you do still want to be facing up towards the top edge of your mat like I am, but I mean, just see how it goes. And you can always change your position if you want. So we're going to step your right foot just out to the side. So make sure your feet are hip distance, the belly is pulled down. Your right foot slides out to the side here. And as you do it, if you try and have the inside of your foot on the ground, so you're not trying to press the sole of your foot down, it's just kind of the inside. This is really a little prep for our triangle or trikonasana. So we're trying to stretch through the sides of your body. So your right hand is just going to go down that right leg a little bit. And then we're going to move through your left arm. So as you inhale, we're going to reach up with the left arm without really reaching over too much, because we don't want to close this bottom side waist, but we want to stretch up if we can. On the exhale, release it down. So do that again. So inhale, reaching up, stretching up through your fingertips, and then release it down. Now this time we'll come up and we'll hold up. So inhale, reaching up. So reaching up through that top hand, reaching down through the right hand, and trying to get a real stretch through the side of your body. Feel it in the inner thighs, a little bit on that right leg. Good, breathing deeply. Well done. Okay, from there, on your next inhale, reach up with both arms. And then on the exhale, release the hands down towards the ground in front of you. So a little bit like when we came into that all fours. And that right leg is going to come round to the front. So you could slide it round, or you could pull your belly in and lift the leg up and then move it round. It's just really up to you. When you get there, you're going to bend into that front leg. So your knees over your ankles. So we're in this kind of runner's lunge, and then we're going to slide back a little bit through your left leg. And normally when we're in this runner's lunge and we move into Untitled, our low lunge, we kind of try and lift up out of it all the time, but today we're going to try and sink into it. So you can imagine your upper body, you're going to try and drape your upper body over the leg and relax everything down. So really relaxing through your head and through your neck. And the idea is that gravity then starts to pull us down towards the ground. And you should start to feel a really strong stretch through the groin on that front leg, maybe a little bit through the back leg. Now, if you need a little bit more there, you can tuck your toes under on your back leg and lift your knee, but still feel like the sensation of dropping down into it rather than you pushing out of it. Relax the head. Now we're going to take one more deep inhale. We're going to come into a twist here. So you can either lift your back knee off the ground or keep it on the ground. Keep your left hand on the ground. And then with your right hand, you're going to pick it up and place it on your knee. And then you can use that to draw your chest around, maybe even lifting up through that right hand. But just see how it feels. Try and stack your shoulders. Rotate a little bit through the belly button. Like that. You take one more deep inhale. When you're ready, slowly release both hands down. Lower your back knee if it's lifted, and then step back into that all fours position. When you get there, on your inhale, drop your belly and lift your chest. On the exhale, round through the upper back and the shoulders. When you're ready, start to move back into that moving cat. And then move forwards again, so into that tabletop position. As you inhale, we'll tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog, press it back. And then lift your heels, lower the knees back down, and move back into that child's pose. When you're ready, on the inhale, just start to lift up. We'll not bother reaching with the arms, but we'll just come back up into that high kneeling position. So we'll do the other side. So again, separate your knees. Start to step out with the left leg now, so out to the side. I'm just going to turn around. I've got enough room, but step out. Make sure the inside edge of your foot is on the ground. Align it so your hip and your foot is in a straight line, so you're not kind of further back or further forward. And then from your left hand, just onto that left thigh. As you inhale, we'll reach up with your right arms, stretching through your fingertips. And on the exhale, release it down. So do that again, so inhale, big stretch up, so feel that side stretch. Release it down. And this time we'll lift up and hold, so stretching all the way up through your fingertips, stretching down through your left leg. Try and get a sensation of the side body really stretching, inner thigh stretching a little bit. One more deep inhale. Reach up with both arms, and then release the hands down in front of you. So again, that left foot's going to come around towards the front. So you can pick it up or you can slide it along the ground. Just see how it feels. When you get there, bend into that knee, hands either side. Maybe slide your right leg back. So the knees over the ankle on the front leg, we're going to drape our body over it. So you're going to try and relax down as much as you can. You could have your hands on blocks here if that felt better. Relax the head and the neck. And then if you want a little bit more sensation, tuck the toes under on the right leg and lift your right knee off the ground, but without lifting up out of it. So still get that sense of dropping through your hips, dropping through the legs. We do pull the belly in a little bit, but everything else releases. We'll take one more deep inhale. We'll start to move into our twist. So we're going to keep the right hand on the ground. Your back knee can be lifted or lowered. It's up to you. Left hand on the left knee. Start to rotate round. Maybe reach up and open up through your left hand. Just see how that all feels. Working through the inner thigh. So keep drawing the legs together as you open up through the side body. Take one more deep inhale. Release both hands back down to the ground. Lower through your back knee and step back into that all fours position once more. When you get there, on the inhale, drop your belly, start to lift your chest forwards. As you exhale, round your back, moving cat, move back towards your heels. Inhale, move forwards again, so coming back in to that tabletop position. On the exhale, tuck your toes and lift your hips downward facing down. We're going to stay in down dog when we come into this side. Again, maybe still making some movement. Maybe you just try and spread your fingers and your toes and lift your hips. Well done. Okay, we'll take one more deep inhale. Lift your heels up, and we're just going to walk or step towards the top. So just take your time. So as you come in, separate your feet and allow your body just to fold towards your legs. As you inhale here, we're going to lengthen forward. So maybe moving your hands up your legs, so stretching through your spine. And then on the exhale, we'll just fold back in. So we'll do that again. So inhale, lengthening forwards. Exhale, fold. We'll do that one more time. So inhale, lengthen. Hold in on the exhale. As you inhale this time, we're going to rise up. So maybe push through your feet. Start to reach up and rise all the way up towards the top. And on the exhale, bring the palms together in front of your heart. Maybe close your eyes, just see how you feel now that you've come up to standing. Okay, from there, we're going to come into our chair pose. So you could turn around towards the front now if you want to. It doesn't really matter where you are on the mat. But you can have your feet either together or a little bit apart, bending into your knees. And then we'll sit into that chair. Start to reach your arms forwards and up. So sit back into your heels, try and draw the belly in a little bit. Then we're going to take a little rotation, a little twist round, but we're going to use our hands to do it. So if you move around towards the right, you could take your left hand onto your knee, maybe your right hand onto your hip, and then just start to slowly rotate yourself round towards the right side. Still sinking through your hips and drawing your belly in. As you inhale, move back towards the center, so reach forwards again with your hands. And then on the exhale, we'll start to rotate the other way. So this time, right hand on your knee, left hand on your hip. Start to rotate round. Sink through your hips a little bit more if you can. Well done. When you're ready, move back to the middle. So again, reach up with the hands. On the exhale, just fold towards your legs. As you inhale here again, lengthen forward, so stretching through your spine a little bit more. On the exhale, just folding back in. As you inhale, reach up. And on the exhale, we'll bring the palms together in front of your heart. Like that. Okay, we're going to do a little balance now. We're going to do tree with a little kind of difference in it because it's for autumn. So we're going to bend a little bit. So maybe separate your feet. And again, use the wall if you need to. If you've got anything handy you can lean on to, then do that. Spread your toes on your right leg. Maybe start to slightly bend the knee and draw your belly in. So you could just pick up your left heel and just keep it just slightly away from your right. Or maybe you lay that so it sits onto your ankle. If you want to move it up, then move it up the leg, but just to any degree for you, whatever feels right. When you get there, we'll just bring the hands towards the center. So as you get there, try and think about using your feet on the ground here. So really spread your toes. So a lot of the time we feel that sometimes it feels like if you crunch the toes up, then it might be easier, but try and spread the toes and use the breadth of your feet. Try and relax your shoulders. Draw your belly in. And settle your gaze somewhere steady. So you could just stay here, just in this tree pose, if you feel happy there. If you want a little bit more, we'll come in with the right hand into the center, and then just reach straight up with your left hand. Again, if that feels okay, then please just stay here. If you want to, you could start to lean a little bit. So in the autumn, the wind kind of picks up. So you can lean over towards that right side a little bit. And the trees start to bend a little bit. Good. And breathing deeply, so just challenging our balance a little bit more. So we bend, but we do not break. When you're ready, we'll slowly come back into the center. Bring your palms together. And then we'll release your feet and we'll bring the feet back together once more. Maybe just close your eyes for a moment to see the sensations that you've created in your body and just how they feel. So we'll move in and we'll try the other side, see how that feels. So maybe separate your feet a little bit, spread the toes on your left foot, maybe come up onto the ball of your foot, just keep it away or lean it against that left leg. Move it up in any way that you want to. You don't have to, and if it doesn't feel right, then you just stay with what feels right to you. So it might not be the same as the other side, it might not be the same as you did last week or even an hour ago. So it's really what suits you. Settle your gaze, align your breath, and keep that even breath. Then if you want to, keep your left hand where it is. Start to maybe just reach up with your right hand. Just see how it feels when you reach it up. And maybe just stay here. If you want to start to lean over a little bit towards the left, see how it goes. When you're ready, slowly release the hands. So bring the hands back together. Bring the feet back together once more. Again, maybe closing your eyes down. See how it goes. Well done. Okay, we'll release the hands, we'll open the eyes. So if you've not already today, we're going to have our mats kind of long ways like this, and we're going to stand in the center of it. So if you've got your mat any other way, if you want to just swivel it round just now, it will be easier if we all kind of do the same thing. Perfect. Now from there, we're going to come into our standing postures. So you could simply step your feet quite wide. But because it's autumn and you might want to jump, for whatever reason, you can jump your feet apart, but just see how it feels. If you don't want to jump, please don't feel that you have to, you can just step them. So your feet are going to be fairly wide. We're coming in for warrior 2 here. So we're going to turn your right foot up towards the top edge of your mat. Now, as you do that, you might want to adjust your feet. So just see if it feels okay. From there, we'll maybe start to bend in to that right leg. So as you do that, we're just trying to feel it out, see how it feels. Do we feel even in our feet? Start to open up through your hips, or feel that you're opening up. So draw back a little bit on your left hip, pull that right knee open, and you might feel you can sink into it a little bit more, but just see how it goes. And then from there, lift your chest and then stretch your arms out, turning your head along that right hand. Try and draw the shoulder blades together a little bit, breathing deeply. So another aspect of an autumnal practice is that we tend to hold the postures for a little bit longer. So, just be patient with that. If you need to come out of it, then come out of it. Notice how your body feels in it, how your breath is, and what happens to your mind as well. So if the only thing you can think of is when am I going to get out of this, then you need to maybe change your mindset a little bit. So try and keep present and breathe. You'll take one more deep inhale. Then you're ready. Slowly start to straighten through that right leg. Turn the right toes forward and turn the left toes out. Now we're going to move into Trikonasana. So this might be fairly wide in your feet. So if you need to pop your feet in, then please do. Push out a little bit on your right hip, and then lengthen over the left leg. Release the hand down just to where it will go. And then to start with, we're just going to reach straight up with that right hand. Now from there, we're going to start to increase the length in this side body. So we're going to bend through that right arm. Then we're going to reach it away. So as you breathe in, we're just going to stretch the arm away. And as you breathe out, we're going to re-bend the arm. So try that. So stretch it away. You should start to feel a real stretch through the side of your body as you do that. Draw it back in. Do that once more. So reach, lengthen away, and then bring it in. Now this time we'll take the arm either up or bend your elbow and take it behind your back. So you can start to draw the shoulder back, lengthen through the bottom side waist, breathing deeply. Well done. We'll take one more deep inhale. We'll start to rise up, so pull your belly in, lift back up again, and then re-bend that front leg. So you're coming into warrior two on the other side, but we're not going to stay here. So we'll lengthen forward. We're going to reverse it. So turn your left hand up and then start to move back, maybe looking up at that left hand as you do that. Still working through the legs strongly. So we keep the legs in this warrior two, but we start to create all this space in our body for all of the essential organs that are in the front of our body. We're giving them space, creating space for our breath. Okay, we'll take one more deep inhale. When you're ready, slowly release the hands back down and then start to straighten through your left leg. Turn your left toes forward. Now from there, we're going to come in for a wide leg forward fold. So you could stay here if you like. Big inhale, so lift your belly and chest and fold forward. So you might just take your hands to your legs. Maybe you release the hands down to blocks here, or maybe you can take your hands to the ground. Use your legs if you've not got blocks. You can always place them there. Try and relax the upper body. Lifting through your hips, pulling your belly in here and bending into the knees as much as you need to. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to start to come up just in your own way. So maybe bending your knees, rolling up would be good. You can always come up with straight legs if you want to, but just however it feels for you. Start to turn your right foot up towards the short edge of your mat again and re-bend your right leg. We're just going to place the hands on the ground now and turn on the toes of your back leg so we're back into this lunge position. From there, we'll just step back to downward facing dog, so take your time. And then when you're ready, we'll lift the heels and we'll lower the knees down. And we'll just move back to a child's pose. So just take your time moving your hips back. And when you get there, maybe bend your elbows, maybe wrap your arms over one another and drop your head down, whatever feels right. So the sister science of yoga is Ayurveda. And Ayurveda has a name for the attributes of autumn, and it's called Vata. And when we have too much Vata, we kind of get dry skin. We get kind of not able to settle, so really kind of restlessness. So really trying to counter Vata with the postures that we're doing today. So really grounding postures, staying close to the ground, really trying to soothe that Vata and balance it, if you like. Okay, when you're ready, we'll start to move back up. We're just going to move up just to an all fours position, first of all. So we'll spread the hands, have the knees underneath your hips. So when you're ready, on an inhale, we'll drop the belly, lifting through your chest. As you exhale, round your back, start to move back with your hips. Inhale, move forward, so just into that tabletop position. And as you exhale, we'll tuck the toes and we'll lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Again, you could make any movements when you get there. Maybe you just hold here and stretch your legs a little. Okay, on your next inhale, lift your heels up, looking forwards. Either step or walk towards the top, so take your time. So folding towards your legs.
And on the inhale, we'll lengthen forward, so just stretching your spine again. As you exhale, just folding back in. As you inhale, reach up, rise all the way up. And on the exhale, bring the palms towards the heart. Okay, you can release the hands, so you can turn around towards the front again. So we'll come back into kind of midway. So we'll do the same thing, just moving in the opposite way. So if you'd like to, again, please step your feet, maybe you jump again. Just see how it feels, just take it out. Good. Okay, so legs quite wide, belly in. We'll turn your left toes now up towards the short edge of your mat. So we're coming into warrior two again, so please adjust your feet if you need to. Maybe you bend into your leg first and see how far apart you need your legs. So knee over the ankle on that front leg, aligning through your legs, but really stretching out through your hips, opening them up. Stretch your arms when you're ready. Open your chest, stretch your fingertips, and look along the front hand. So settling your gaze kind of along that kind of middle finger. Maybe it goes beyond it. Maybe it's a little bit more expansive than that. But try and feel the energy generating in your body. So from the ground up, and then moving out through your fingertips. Settle into your breath. Keep it nice and even. Well done. Okay, we'll take one more deep inhale. When you're ready, slowly now start to straighten through that left leg. Turn your left toes in, turn your right toes out, and we'll move back into triangle. So again, adjust your feet if you'd like. Push away a little bit through your left hip. Lengthen over that right leg. Take the hand down to where it will go and reach straight up with your right hand. So again, if you need to adjust your feet and legs, then please still do. So we'll start stretching through the side body again. So maybe bending that arm so you can bring your arm kind of towards your ear. As you breathe out, reach up and away with the arms. So we're stretching through the side body. So it might be lower, but we don't want to just drop down. We want to stretch it away a little bit. Bend it back in. So breathing in, reach away. Breathing out, pull it back in. Okay, do that one more time. So stretch and lengthen through the side body. Draw it back in. Now keeping that length, reach up with the top hand. Again, you might just stay here, maybe you bend the elbow and take it behind your back, draw your shoulder back, trying to lengthen through this bottom side waist. So try not to kind of go further down and shorten it, but really lengthen away from that bottom leg. Okay, one more deep inhale. When you're ready, start to rise back up. So draw your belly in, lift up. Slowly start to re-bend. So coming into warrior two again, but just for a breath, and we'll reverse it. So maybe reach forward a little bit, turn the right hand up, start to move it back. Still keeping the legs the same, okay? So we don't change the legs. If anything, we might deepen into it a little bit more, but bending into your front leg. So the right leg is bent and the left leg is straight. Okay, breathe. Well done. Okay, we'll take one more deep inhale. Slowly start to release. So as if you're coming to warrior two, we'll start to straighten your right leg, turn the right toes in. So we're going to come back in for a forward fold. So lift your belly and your chest, start to fold in. So maybe just hands to the legs, maybe you release them down. And you could come in for the same position again if you want to. Or maybe this time you take your hands either to your leg, your ankle, or maybe your big toes, and then just bend your elbows and draw yourself in from there. But if it doesn't feel right to do that, then keep your hands just resting on your legs. But you can use your legs and draw yourself in if you'd like to. Very nice. Do bend the knees a little bit if you need to. Keep pulling the belly in and lifting the hips up towards the sky. When you're ready, we'll start to move back up. So releasing any bind that you have. Maybe bending into your knees. Maybe you just pull your belly in and lift up. Just come up in your own way. Okay, from there, we'll turn the left toes up towards the top edge of your mat, re-bending into that left leg. Take your hands down towards the mat, turning the toes of your right leg. Okay, from here, we'll just step back to downward facing dog once more. So our last one. And then from here, lift both heels up, lower your knees down, and just make your way back into that child's pose. Pressing back, releasing down. Maybe bring your arms down, cross them over, and drop your head down. And just notice how your body is starting to feel. Okay, when you're ready, we'll start to make our way back up. We're just going to come to sitting now. So just use your hands, press yourself up, and then we'll take a little seat. You can just come round towards the front. We're going to do Shavasana, or our boat pose, but again, there's variations, so just do what you can. So we're going to sit up onto your sit bones. You can have your hands behind you here if that feels better, or you can take the hands behind the back of your thighs. So just see how that goes. But lift your chest, draw your belly in, and as you breathe out, you're just going to lift one leg up. We're just lifting it level with your knees, so it's not way up high. Breathe into lower. So breathing out, lift, breathing into lower. So you can just stay on that if you want a little bit more. Pick both feet up off the ground and do the same thing. So just lift up nice and slowly and lower it back down. So take your time, keep drawing the belly in, keep lifting the chest up. Very, very nice. And then if you did want a little bit more from there, maybe you could start to lift both legs up at the same time. So as you breathe out, lift the legs and lower them. So we're just lifting level with your knee here still. So we're not taking up higher. And we're going all the way down, almost touching the ground. So lift up and lower it back down. Okay, breathing out and lower back down. Excellent. We'll do two more like that. And last one. Well done. And this time, place your feet on the ground. Widen your feet a little bit here. And again, we'll take the hands behind us to start. Now we're going to move both legs over to one side. So you may need to adjust and widen a little bit more, but you just windscreen the wiper the legs over towards one side. So they should be a little bit separate. Back to the middle, and then take it the other way. Good. We'll do that again. So just work at your own speed. Take your time. So I said we weren't doing any chaturanga, and we're not, because it doesn't really suit with that autumnal practice, but we are going to do a little push-up, okay? So when you bring your legs over to one side, you're going to bring both hands to the outside of the thigh, so any distance apart, and then just move forward and bend your elbows, and then press back up. We'll take it to the other side, so come back to the center, bring both legs all the way over, bring both arms round, bend your elbows, so take it down towards the ground, and then press back up. Okay, we'll do that again. So take it round. Good. Both hands round. Start to bend into it. Push yourself back up. Okay, we'll do that once more. So take it all the way around. Hands to the outside. A little bend. Push yourself back up. And back into the middle. Well done. Okay, from there, we're going to come back into that Navasana. So we're going to sit up onto your sit bones. We'll pick the feet up off the ground this time. So we're just going to lift your feet up. So maybe level with your knees. But if they're a little bit lower, it doesn't matter. And again, you can always take your hands behind you if it feels too much. So hands behind the back of the thighs, belly in. Now this time from that kind of tabletop position, we're going to extend the legs further. So as you breathe out, maybe straighten one leg. Breathe in to bend it. And then take the other leg. Again, if this is too much, you can always go back to the first one, where you're lifting your feet up off the ground. Just see how that feels.
and use your hands behind you if you need to. And then if you wanted to, you could do both legs lifting and lowering. And you could release your hands as well, but just see how that feels. So lift up and lower down. Good. Breathing out and breathing in. Excellent. Well done. Okay, we'll do 2 more like this, so take your time. And last one. Well done. Slowly release. Give yourself a little hug. Okay, we're going to come in. We're going to do a little bind today, a forward folding bind called Marachyasana. So again, you don't want to bind, you don't have to, and there's lots of alternatives that you can do. But we're going to have your legs out in front of you. We're going to keep your right leg straight and your foot a little bit flexed. With your left foot, you're going to bend it in. Now the foot comes quite close, or the heel comes quite close towards your thigh at the back. So option 1 here, we're just going to bring your left arm just to the inside of that left leg, and you can just move forwards a little bit. So you can maybe just have your hands on the ground. So that would kind of be option 1. If you want to, you can use a strap. So if you've got a strap, you could grab the strap and place it around the ball of your foot, and you could use that. And if you can reach your feet, you can take your hands onto your foot. Now, there is an option of a half bind. So you could keep your left hand where it is, and with your right hand, you're going to take it around the back, and we just grab what you can. So maybe it's your t-shirt, whatever you can. So you've got left arm forward, right arm going around the back. Now, if you want to do the full bind, the way I do it is that I hold the left leg with my right hand first. So because sometimes this leg kind of moves about, you start moving into it. So I just use that just to kind of secure it where it is. And then with the left arm, it reaches forward past it. So you have to kind of get your shoulder a little bit past that. And then the left arm goes round the back. And then the right hand goes round and searches for it. And we grab hold. And if you can, try and align your shoulders. So often this right shoulder gets pulled back. So try and align it, pull your left shoulder back, and then fold forwards. You see how it feels without feeling that you need to bind. You don't have to. It doesn't really improve the experience in any way. It just, it's just what it feels like, and it doesn't matter where you get to with it. Okay, we'll take one more breath. When you're ready, we'll slowly release. So any bind that you have, start to rise back up. Now from there, keeping your left foot bent or your left leg bent, we'll take it up and over the top of the right. So we're just going to come in for a little twist. When you get there, press your left big toe down and still flex through your right foot. And then from there, use your right hand or your right arm and draw your knee over towards the right shoulder. Left fingertips behind you. And then start to lengthen through your left fingertips as you draw yourself around. So still keep pressing through your left big toe and still flexing through that right foot. Well done. Okay, we'll slowly make our way back in towards the middle. So take your time. And then we'll release your legs, maybe give them a little shake. So we'll try these on the other side. And again, they don't necessarily feel the same. And you can't expect them to be the same, really. We'll keep your left leg straight, flex your foot, and then bend your right leg in. So again, as close as you can to that thigh. So from here, we'll take your right arm just to the inside of that right knee. And then maybe you just take both hands onto the ground. So if you want to use your strap, then around the ball of your left foot, and then start to just draw yourself forwards with that. If you want to take the half bind, keep your right hand on the ground, reach forwards and then round through your left hand and just grab hold of something. And then if you want to take the full bind, again, you don't have to, but I use my left hand to keep that leg in position as I stretch forward with the right arm, take it round the back, and then stretch round with your left hand to try and grab it. So watch your left shoulder because it will pull back. So try and pull back a little bit through your right shoulder, even them up, and then
And try and relax when you're there. So if you get into something and it doesn't feel like it's relaxing, then you can't expect your muscles to stretch under that strain, because they can't. They have to feel like they're in a kind of relaxed position, that you're relaxed, in order for the stretch to actually happen. When you're ready, we'll slowly release. So any little bind that you have, let it go. And then we'll make our way into that twist. So right foot over the top of the left. Use your left hand or your left arm to draw yourself around. Take your right fingertips behind you and lengthen through your spine as you draw yourself around. So pushing down through your right big toe, flex through your left foot. When you're ready, we'll slowly make our way back in towards the centre. Release your legs, give them a little shake. So we're going to make our way down onto your mat now. We're going to do a little bridge. So if you want to do a more restorative bridge, then grab a block. Otherwise, make your way down. Coming into the bridge in your own way if you'd like. And today we'll have the feet hip distance, heels in. And if you want to, you could bring your upper arms onto the ground and then bend at the elbows. Stretch your fingertips up towards the ceiling. So really press down through your upper arms. And then as you breathe out, lift your hips. And then when you come up, start to press through your upper arms. So you kind of lift a bit more. And if you end up on your shoulders, maybe then start to move your shoulder blades underneath. Okay? Kind of moving side to side to get the shoulder blades underneath. So it might help you to get up higher. If it doesn't suit you, then don't do it. And then you could take your hands and put your fingers underneath your back. So using these upper arms to lift yourself up and hold there. And breathe into it. So this is another one where we're trying to increase the space in our chest, the space in our lungs to create more air or to allow more air to move into. And also opening up our heart a little bit more. Okay, we'll take one more deep inhale. We'll start to release. If you've got your hands clasped, then release them, slowly lowering yourself all the way back down. So when you come down, we'll separate your feet quite wide again, so kind of out toward the edges of your mat. Maybe spread your hands. We're going to come in for a twist. So we'll drop both legs just over towards the right side. So maybe like you did when you were sitting up and you were doing that windscreen wiper. So the really wide legs and then just dropping over to one side. Maybe turn your head the other way. Okay, when you're ready, we'll make our way to the middle and just come in the other side. So take your time. Take them all the way across, turning your head the other way. Okay, when you're ready, we'll make our way in towards the middle. You can draw your knees in towards your chest now if you like. Take little movements side to side, any little kind of movements that you want to make now before we finish. So from there, we're going to come into Shavasana. So please feel free to pop socks or jumpers or anything on that you need. We'll make our way in. You didn't see that, but I just fell. I slipped and fell a little bit when I was getting down to the ground. It'll be on the video. I was not going to mention it, but then I thought it's been recorded, you'll see it. Just taking your time coming into Shavasana, so finding that comfortable spot. Maybe move back into your breath, so just noticing without changing it. So our breath is a unique rhythm and it will find it itself. We don't have to force that. Start to be aware of how your body feels now. So compared to how it felt at the start of class. So hopefully feeling a little bit more grounded, a little bit warmer, maybe a little bit stretched out. And then beginning to be aware of where your mind is at. So if your thoughts have wandered off to what's coming next, or maybe dwelling on what's been, try and just notice that and kindly bring your attention back to the present moment. So these moments of peace are important to us. We want to be aware of them as well. Start to feel calm, peaceful, relaxed. When you're ready, we're going to take a deep inhale through your nose and then just sigh it out your mouth. So we'll do that once more. So just deeply inhale and then let it go. And maybe start to move a little bit. So through your fingers and your toes. Maybe taking your arms and stretching them overhead. And stretching all the way down to your feet. When you're ready, we'll bring the arms back over. And then you can start to bend your knees. So you can draw your knees in. Maybe take a little movement. Maybe roll over onto your side. So whatever suits you. And then we'll start to make our way up. So just taking your time, there's no rush. Come up in your own way. Maybe keep your eyes closed. Your gaze lowered. And we'll come into a comfortable seat when you're ready. So just bringing the palms together in front of your heart. Just leaving a little gap just to signify an openness in your heart. So thank you so much for coming on and practicing with me this morning. I hope you enjoyed our autumn practice. Namaste. Thank you very much, everyone. Well done. I'll stop the recording and then you can unmute yourself.